Described as a congressman until his last breath, the electoral woes of the ANC were on the mind of the late former Deputy President David Mabuza weeks before he died. Mabuza, who also served as the ANC's second in command from 2017 to 2022, was in constant communication with party officials, often engaging on ways to recover from the party's electoral misfortunes.
I last spoke to Didi 2 weeks ago as the head of elections. Didi was not critical of the ANC. He was committed to work together with the ANC and make the ANC to recover from the setbacks, because he was there in the trenches. And he was there even now. When we left Mpumalanga after the provincial strategy workshop, one of the things that he said is that I want you and Dumiseni to come here and come and tell me what is the strategy for Mpumalanga. But as he says, Ningabe over concerned, because Nami, I've got other ideas I think I can help the ANC with. No condemnation, unless some people met with somebody who falsified himself as David Mabuza. Didi never spoke outside of the organization. Didi never came out to criticize an organization that at the end of the day he must stand in front of the public and make people to believe in.
His funeral will take place next Saturday. The ANC in the province is expected to host 3 memorial services on Thursday in the regions of Ehlanzeni, Nkangala and Khwezibande.
That, of course, the funeral of the late Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa and that of the ANC will take place this weekend on Saturday, the 12th of July.
Messages of support continue to pour in from all quarters, including those who are close to him, as well as those from other political parties.
It's very sad, and we don't like to see the passing of anybody. And our condolences go to his family and his friends. And I have written formally to his organization, the ANC, to express on my behalf our deepest sympathies.
We've lost somebody who cared about the well-being of another. We'll go to door-to-doors and campaigns with him. If he finds a dilapidated household or a home where there's no source of income, he will put them through Mabuza Foundation or through government services to help them.
And I think one of my memories of him is when we had to do a work for Winnie Mandela's funeral. And I found him a person who was able to listen intently, say a few words, but when he spoke, he gave certainly direction.
He was my teacher in the late 80s in a school called Bekiswago High School in an area called Mahushu. He taught me science and mathematics. That's why I started to knew him. And then I had to move in 1991 back home to Pinar. And he also thought he was a teacher here in Pinar, in one of the school, Lehau Secondary School and Spuile Primary School. So our relationship was a relationship of a brother and a young boy, or a father and a son. That's how we relate, but it doesn't mean that we never differed.
Analysts weighed in on his track record.
There were times when people were complaining that our Deputy President was not visible. Of course, we know that there is a history behind that, given the fact that at one point he was poisoned. That is a fact which is in the public domain. The question then will be, those who had poisoned him, are they feeling happy today, or are they mourning with all of us?
It's the type of controversy that surrounds him to some extent. And I think it goes back to the politics of Mpumalanga as a province, which was divided into different regions or had political dynamics which were characterized by the different regions, and some infighting there. And I think for someone like him to be able to survive there meant that he was able to cope with this type of politics, which is for many people will be very important very difficult to survive that. So unfortunately, I think a lot of the politics associated with him during the time when he was premier and even before that is about these matters. And unfortunately for him and for his legacy, we don't have really answers about what is the real situation.
The family has thanked those from his political home, government and South Africans at large for the outpouring of messages of support they have received. Natasha Piri, SABC News.